Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We have a bit of a conundrum at the moment. I have too many books from the library currently in my house. I used to use the library for all my reading. I was a library only girly purely because I just didn't feel like I had the funds to be buying physical copies of books, and I just felt good knowing that I was like supporting my local libraries. And I would still recommend it. Obviously, like I say, I do now buy my own books, but I do still borrow from the library on a regular basis, and I would really recommend it for if you're just like not sure you're going to like a book but you're still interested, and it's like there's no point buying it because if I don't like it I've kind of wasted the money and probably I'm just going to give it away to someone else afterwards anyway. Or like if you would like to start a series perhaps, and again you're not sure how you feel about it, rather than committing to the whole thing, buy a library book first, test out the first book in the series, see if you like it, and then maybe buy the series, you know what I mean? From time to time I will just decide if there's a book that I don't want to purchase, or I'm quite lazy. In the UK here we have the Works, which is like crazy discounted books. I don't know how they do it honestly, but they are such bargains. If I can't find a book that I'm looking for in there and I really can't be bothered to pay full price in like Waterstones or something, I will probably just borrow it from the library, depending on whether I'm in the mood to get on my Kindle potentially, but anyway. But I have accumulated a few library books and I just need to get through them. So this video is me getting through my library TBR. I currently have 3 books that I borrowed from the library. One of them I've had since February. I've had to renew it multiple times. I actually got it for my blind date with a book for Valentine's Day. Today is literally the 17th of May and I still have not read that book yet. And I really want to, like it sounds so interesting. I've never heard of it before, but anyway, we'll get to that a bit later. The first book that I'm tackling in this video is The Wishing Game by Megan or Meg, I want to say Schaefer. I heard about this book early this year, maybe late last year, and it's been cropping up a lot ever since, and it sounds really appealing to me. From what I can gather, why not just read the blurb? Let's read the blurb. So essentially it's about a teacher who loves books and she shares this with other students, and I think there's some kind of competition to win a special book written by one of the orphans that she teaches, I believe. But I think there's like a lot of magical realism in this. I think it's meant to be just really like whimsical and wholesome. Probably, from what I can gather, this would probably make a really great autumnal read. So if you're like Southern Hemisphere, then this could be a great time for you to get into this. Obviously in the UK we are approaching our summertime, but I borrowed this from the library. I had it reserved for quite a long time before I managed to actually get my hands on it. So I need to read this ASAP. Yeah, it's not a very long book, honestly. I think this is just under 300 pages or 300 pages thereabouts. So quite a quick, easy read, and the font is quite large as well. So I'm gonna start this potentially right now. Bridgerton came out yesterday, so I do have plans to probably binge that entire show this evening, or the first part at least. I've got 3 episodes left to watch, but for now I think I'm gonna spend like half an hour or so probably just starting this book, getting into it, seeing what it's about, just getting the vibe, you know. But I'm excited. I think hopefully it's gonna be really just wholesome and cozy to read, so I'm excited for sure. The dedication on this is so cute. It says, "This book is dedicated to Charlie and to all of us who are still looking for our golden tickets." This is going to be so magical. I can't wait. And look how nice this book is. Wow, that is so cool. Hi guys, I haven't actually updated the vlog, but I would like to tell you that I am almost halfway through the Wishing Game and I am really enjoying it. It's really sweet. I think I connect to it on a bit of a deeper level because I used to be a nursery teacher, so there's a few bits in here about Lucy, our main character, and she works with children, and there's just little bits and bobs here and there that just make me like smile a bit because I haven't done that job for a few years now, and whilst it was like the hardest job I've had by far, and I do salute people that do it, I do still miss parts of it. Like, it was just so rewarding. But yeah, so far this book seems like it's going to be really whimsical and like heartwarming, but also maybe quite sad in places. There's already quite a emotional part to the story. It's not a spoiler, you find it out like within the first couple of chapters, but our main character Lucy would like to adopt a child that she's really close to, that she teaches, who lives in a foster family, but him and Lucy are really close. Yeah, it's exciting, but we're currently getting into like the thick of the story, which I'm really excited about. It's almost giving like if the Inheritance Games and Caraval had a baby. I feel like this is what would be the outcome. It's an interesting read, but I'm enjoying it so far. So I don't actually remember when I last filmed. The days and the filming has all been a bit random since I started this video, but I thought I would just give you probably the last update I'll be giving on this book before I finish it. Obviously, The Wishing Game. I'm on page 202, which I believe puts me at like 2/3 of the way through. And yeah, I'm enjoying it more as it goes on. I hate to say, I don't think I've mentioned this in this video, but I think I am in the teeny tiny bit of a reading slump. And if I'm completely honest, I don't think I was like 100% in the mood to read this when I picked it up, but as it's a library hold, this is the one hold of mine that I only have one chance with. Normally, I don't know how many of you use a library, but most of the time you can just keep renewing your hold until you're finished with the book, and then obviously you can give it back. However, if you have a book that is obviously high in demand, has a lot of holds on it, then you have to give it back after your period, which for me is a 3-week period, and this expires in just under a week. So I obviously knew this weekend, I was like, right, I need to pick it up so that I can get it read before I have to take it back this weekend. So I kind of picked it up more so because I had to, as opposed to like I really wanted to at the time. Also, I just realized I'm wearing my pajamas in this video, but have you seen the weather? It is so gloomy, so I don't feel guilty. This is the ultimate cozy vibe at the moment. So I think that's kind of obviously impacted my reading experience, because this is only 300 pages long. Like, in theory, I feel like I definitely could have already finished this by now. I think I started it on Friday or Saturday. It is now Wednesday. Like, for me, that's a long time for a 300-page book. Alas, you know, these things happen. Funnily enough, I feel like I've seen a lot of people lately on my socials in slumps. So maybe there's just something in the friggin' air, like, I don't know. But anyway, like I say, I'm hoping I could finish it tonight. Honestly, maybe tomorrow. So I'm thinking it's definitely manageable. And like I say, we're really like in the thick of it now. What I think is going to be, I'm at the 3rd act conflict for this book. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sit in this corner for a good while, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes, because I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how it's gonna go now that we've reached our conflict. So yeah, we shall see. But this is where you will find me for the rest of the evening. This might be the weirdest angle I've ever filmed at. Very random, but I'm currently in my kitchen. I'm cooking dinner, but it's one of those like dinners where you're just waiting for stuff. And I realized that I haven't actually updated you guys since I did finish reading The Wishing Game. So I thought I'd quickly talk about it now while I'm waiting for my dinner to cook. I am so hungry. I've just been to a yoga class. It's like 8:30 and I still haven't eaten yet. So I'm like, I am ready for this. But anyway, I finished The Wishing Game a couple of nights ago. I think the same night that I last spoke to you, actually. And I think I'm gonna firm a rating of this 4 stars. It was fun, it was whimsical, it was like letting out your inner child, you know? I don't really know what to say. Like, okay, it was really easy to read. A lot of people, and I guess I kind of agree, have kind of said that it reads quite a lot like a YA, and I suppose I do agree. That didn't deduct from the rating for me. If anything, it kind of adds to that childlike quality that this book gives, because it does. It just, again, a lot of people will describe it sort of similar to like Willy Wonka vibes, and it just makes you feel like you're letting up that like hopeful part of you, like I say, that inner child, that innocence. And yeah, so for me that was absolutely fine. If anything, like I say, it just made it easy to read and made it very quick paced, which was great. The storyline was fun. It was nothing crazy. I wasn't expecting anything crazy. It's not like a high stakes situation or anything. I'm still confused, to be fair, of the main plot point, because the main characters in this book, their competition that they're participating in is held on an island called Clock Island, which is also the island that features in the author whose book they're competing for, his children's books. So in my head that means that Clock Island is fictional, but then it exists because that's where they go, which is why I'm like, is this magical realism? Because like I feel like the magical realism isn't like in your face, like it's not obvious, there's not like magic elements that happen in this, I don't think. But then I'm also like, but then does that mean Clock Island is an actual place? Because I thought he just made it up in his children's books. That kind of confused me. Again, didn't really matter. It was only one of those things, if you just keep thinking about it, I suppose. It kind of raised a few questions for me, but like I say, it's not detrimental. Just gonna give this a quick stir. There was one critique that I did have of this book, which is the very minor romance subplot. And like I say, it's really minor, so luckily it didn't deduct too much, but there is a very minor romance subplot in this book and it just icked me out. And I'm not gonna go into detail because I feel like it could be a minor spoiler for the book. Like I say, it doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of the story, but I just didn't really like it, and I found it unnecessary, and towards the end it was becoming a little bit more prominent, and I was just like, I don't like this. So I'm glad that it didn't really become any focal points of the plot, because I think that would have really ruined it for me. Yeah, wasn't a fan of that. But yeah, I'd really recommend this if you're looking for something cozy, easy to read. This could be quite a good one to get out of a slump, I think, because like I say, it's really fast paced. You get thrown into it pretty quickly. I need to take it back to the library stat because I'm going to get in trouble if I don't. And then last night, I started reading my next library hold, which is True Love at the Lonely Hearts Bookshop, which I'd never heard of before. I hate to admit it, but this was actually my Valentine's Day blind date with a book that I got from the library in February. That is terrible TBR procrastination. I'm really not far. I read a couple of chapters before bed last night and then I just got too tired. So I'm literally only on chapter 4, page 31. So far, seems pretty easy peasy fluffy wuffy if you ask me. It's basically about a lady called Verity. She loves books. She's quite introverted and she's happy living her life like that, but obviously societal pressures and her friends and everyone's asking her about her relationship status and what's going on in her love life. And basically at the very beginning, she's told her friends about this fake boyfriend that she has, and when she goes to a restaurant to meet him for a date, obviously she's just going to be on her own, her friends end up following her and watching her through the window. So she's like, shit, I need to find someone to sit with so I look like I'm with my boyfriend. So she sits at the table of a random stranger on his own, and I think it kind of develops from there. I think there's like a fake dating kind of trope, but it says on the back that there's like, it's like a summer book and there's going to be weddings and birthdays and garden parties. So to be fair, I'm not super mad that I've left it this late, because that could actually hit really well now that we're moving into summer in the UK. So I'm hoping that it gives me the just like sunny, summery vibes. I haven't read a romance in quite a while, so I'm really excited to dive into this. Hopefully we're gonna have a good time with this. I will keep you updated. I thought it was about time that I checked in with you. I don't think I've done a single update for True Love at the Lonely Hearts Bookshop since I started it, and I am now pretty much, actually I'm a bit further than that because I listened to the audiobook this morning. So, well, that was a long chapter as well. It's far through, so yeah, pretty much halfway. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not obsessed with it. It's definitely probably will only be like a 4-star at the maximum. At the moment, it's just sitting at like a plain 3. I'm not obsessed with our main male character. He's just very blah. It's the best way I can describe him. Like, I just don't care for him, but we don't really get much about him either. He's mysterious, but not really in like that sexy way, if that makes sense. He's just a bit absent. I don't know. Our female main character as well, I'm not sure how I feel about her. I think she's written her in a introverted kind of way, trying to make her seem relatable, but sometimes she does, for me, kind of just come off slightly rude. But I don't know if I'm just interpreting that maybe wrong. I'm not sure. That's just how I'm seeing it anyway. But in terms of plot, there's already been like weddings and garden parties, and that's a vibe for me right now, given that it is summertime and the sun is out. Excuse the washing drying in the sun. When you're in a flat, you gotta take what you can take. But I also feel like the meet cute and the whole fake dating premise happened very early on in the book, which is fine. But then, like I say, we've had so many events already that I think there's been 3 events already that they've attended fake dating, and we're on page 180. And I don't know, that seems like a lot. That seems like a lot for, like, considering there's this much of the book left. I'm like, what are we doing with that? Like, what's going to happen with this? I don't know. So I'm kind of, if anything, I'm just more skeptical at the moment. But it's not a bad book. It's very easy to read. It's definitely a book for the Brits as well. I would say you can still read it if you're from America or anywhere else, but there are a lot of British references in this book, which wouldn't make sense, I don't think, to other people. But we shall carry on reading it and see how we go. I'm going to try and read some more now. I've just actually had a very long nap and I'm feeling a lot better. I've got a cup of tea and some custard creams next to me, so we're just gonna have a cozy time. Horrendous. Like, I didn't think it could get any worse. Really bad. I will update you tomorrow. It's been a few days. If you can hear a little background music, it's a beautiful day in the UK. My balcony doors are open. There's kids and everyone out and about and they're enjoying the sunshine, so let's let them crack on. But anyway, I think I have filmed me finishing this. Anyway, I need to talk about it. It was not good. I settled on a 2-star rating for this, and maybe that's too generous, but then also maybe, you know, this book wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read. Should I have DNF'd it? Probably, but I didn't. I stuck with it. The vibes were great. That is what saved this book, because I did read this thinking, you know, it was going to give me the summery vibes. It takes place with a lot of weddings, barbecue, garden parties, all that stuff. So I thought it's going to be the perfect vibes for like a summer read. And it did give that, because that was pretty much going on throughout the entire book with all these different events. Great. But I wonder if maybe it's just like the marketing or like the face value of this book let it down a lot more than it needed to, because True Love at the Lonely Hearts Bookshop, it's a cutesy pink cover, it's got a couple on the front, like I'm thinking fluffy romance. Not at all. I don't know if the author considers this as a romance herself, I don't know, but this is not a romance. I hated the male main character. He is not a good person. Like, he's just not. And it didn't take me long to form that opinion of him. But that aside, like, talking about just the couple in general, they don't get together until, I promise you, the very last chapter or second chapter, like the penultimate chapter of this book. And this book is 400 pages long, right? But up until that point, there is zero chemistry between the two characters. Not an ounce of chemistry. And then all of a sudden it's like, cool, we're together. But not even that. it's not even the fact that they're chemistry, it's the fact that he treats her so bad, like so bad. It is a fake dating trope. It kind of works out in both their favors. He needs someone to bring to events. She is being like hounded at by her friends about not having a boyfriend or whatever. So it works out for both of them, but it is just, this did not execute anywhere other than the summer vibes. The fact that they got together at the end was also just such a juxtaposition is not the word I'm looking for. It just didn't make sense, because throughout this book, Verity, our main female character, is quite strong-willed. She doesn't really let people walk over her. Like, she knows what she wants, and she's very comfortable to just take a step back. She's very introverted, so she probably does come across as quite rude, truth be told. But for her to then just like negate everything that the man Johnny did at the end and be like, yeah, sure, let's be together, I was like, I'm sorry, have you not been saying throughout the entirety of this book how shit this man is actually treating you, and like the things that he's been saying, the way he's been behaving? It was a struggle. I think I remember saying that the ending of this book would really pinpoint exactly what the rating was going to be. It was never going to be a good, like a high rating. But reading those last couple of chapters was just the cherry on the cake of how much of a waste of time I feel like this book was. I wouldn't recommend it. I am sad that my library recommended this to me as my blind date with a book in February, because yeah, I didn't need to waste days reading this, but we did, so. And that is the end of this video. I did have one more library hold that I was going to try and get through, and it was Good Wives by Louisa May Alcott, which is like the second half of the Little Women story. I didn't realise that the Little Women story can sometimes come as 2 books rather than just one solid book. But when it arrived from the library, one, it was large print, and I just cannot, like, don't get me wrong, large font in a book sometimes, chef's kiss, but like large print font is another level. I just can't. I cannot read a large print book. Soz. And I'm just not in the mood. I'm really not in the mood to read the other half of Little Women at the moment. And because I feel like I've been in a bit of a slumpy mood, I just thought, let's not force myself to, because otherwise I fear I will not be picking up a book again for weeks. So we'll come back to that another time. But for now, I've read The Wishing Game, I've read True Love and The Lonely Hearts Bookshop, and I've completely read all of the library books that I have on hold for the time being. So that is so satisfying. I'm very proud of myself for doing that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe it's inspired you to get through your library holds if you have any that you've been putting off. It is such a satisfying feeling ticking them off. Please like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next week with a brand new one. See you later. Bye.